Hi, everybody. Welcome to Take 5 minutes of devotion, 5 days a week. And here we are reading from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 7, and Psalm 36. We're going to take a look at verse 32. A deaf man with a speech impediment was brought to Jesus, and the people begged him to lay his hands on the man to heal him. Jesus led him away from the crowd so they could be alone. He put his fingers into the man's ears. Then, spitting on his own fingers, he touched the man's tongue. Looking up to heaven, he sighed and said, Ephphatha, which means, be opened. Instantly, the man could hear perfectly, and his tongue was freed, so he could speak plainly. Wow, what a miracle.
Yeah. I mean, we saw just yesterday how Jesus was willing to heal the Syrophoenician woman's
Right,
child without even being nearby.
right.
Um, and he gave her a piece of something that she could never truly earn. I mean, he gave her this thing that was reserved only for his people.
Mm-hmm.
But he listened to her request because to him it made sense. But also, let's look at how he took this deaf man aside to do this really gross thing to him. I mean, he didn't embarrass him in front of the crowd. You know, that wasn't Jesus's thing. Isn't that like him? He was kind, he
Right.
was humble, but he was God, and he did this powerful um, thing in the deaf man's life.
Yeah,
I mean, there we see a few examples of that weirdness in what Jesus does, what we now maybe would call creative miracles, and how he took his spit and, put it in someone's eyes, or now he touched his tongue with him. Oh my goodness, the germs. But hey, I'll take God's germs, whatever. Whatever you want to do, Lord, I'll say yes. But, it was such a unique miracle. And
Mhm.
that man left. Everybody knew him when he came back, and he was so different and able to speak clearly. Um, I think that same behavior needs to be in us. If
Right,
I'm going to pray for you and maybe, it's going to be embarrassing somehow or whatever, then take someone to the side.
right,
If someone's got an issue that maybe it's something that everyone in the room doesn't need to know about, don't
right.
say it into the microphone. Take them aside. Uh, I know some of our more past evangelistic services, we get kind of, and we start saying stuff and doing things, calling people out. But we live in an age right now where everything is so visible.
Hmm.
Everything, man, I watched services from across the world yesterday. It's amazing. So I love how Jesus was willing to see the humanity in people and to preserve dignity in some way, even when he was about to change their whole life forever.
Yes,
And he was not given the same dignity in the end. He was not given the same rights or respect, but yet he wasn't afraid of that. He
that's
made sure he showed it. So let's be more like Jesus.
that's so true. I think that we can learn so much. I mean, obviously, I've not dug in and theologically looked at why he did that the way he did it, as far as the spitting and all that stuff. But we can learn from the way that he treated people with kindness. We don't have to
Yeah.
call things out in public. We can give people the dignity of having some privacy about some things. I mean, some things obviously it's fine, it's public knowledge, whatever. But I love that how you brought that out, that kindness that was in Jesus, it should be also in us.
No, the psalm also says, and this kind of ties in actually, how excellent is thy loving kindness, O God.
Mhm.
Therefore, the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. Like
Mm.
I know I can trust him. No matter
Yeah.
what my issue is, my problem is, I know I can trust him
Yes.
and he will make the wise choice.
Yes. I've done some studies, and I remember in one of my classes that a person was talking about the professor about if we could sum up God's nature in one word, what word was used the most? And that would be like the Hesed of God. It's his loving kindness, the loving kindness of God. If you could just give him one attribute, that's the overriding attribute. It would be that's what he's demonstrating to us. And so if that's what he's demonstrating to us, guess what? We're supposed to be that which we have been given. We are
Yes.
also supposed to freely give. Amen.
Amen. Well,
We are
and we
beneficiaries.
absolutely. And we saw this with the Syrophoenician woman too. You know, he pushed, he stretched it a little bit to minister to her, but he still chose to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And his loving kindness, we can trust him and put ourselves under the shadow of his wings.
Yes. Amen. I
So
love
how
that.
about you guys out there? Put something into the comments. What has God been speaking to you about lately? What aspect of loving kindness of God should show up in your life?
Amen. God
Amen.
bless you. See you
Bye-bye.
tomorrow.